1.4 million of us signed a petition, and games media for the most part ignored it, deciding instead to churn out hundreds of articles on the Battlefield 6 trailer and the shiniest new AAA announcements. Convenient, right? That alone should tell you everything you need to know. Gaming media isn't just broken, it's rigged, and it's not a coincidence. It's been happening for years. We get a sanitized, advertiser-approved message every single time, when all we want is the truth. The deception is real, and I've got all of the receipts you could ever want, and this one is wild, so stick with me. So we all know about Stop Killing Games. Ubisoft shut down the Cruise servers, making a game people bought completely unplayable forever. The movement asked for something reasonable. When you kill a game, provide an offline patch or let us host our own servers. Basic digital ownership rights. 1.4 million people signed the EU petition, over 100,000 in the UK too, and it's become the largest consumer rights campaign in gaming history. And you'd think that gaming media would be all over this story, right? Go to YouTube and it's everywhere. Creators covering every milestone, keeping people informed about something that actually affects us as people who love video games. But you go to gaming news sites and you might find a dusty old article buried halfway down a page somewhere, published a couple of months ago. IGN, for example, covered it when it hit 1 million signatures, then went quiet. The world's biggest gaming news site should be championing this. Instead, they'd rather churn out their 47th article about the latest Fortnite trailer. The message couldn't be clearer, right? Almost 1.5 million of us signed this, but if traditional gaming media doesn't choose to back it too, well, it might as well not exist. That's not journalism, that's selective reporting designed to protect their industry relationships, protect the companies paying for the advertising that keeps them in business. And the proof is clear, just follow the money. It's no surprise that nobody trusts this shit anymore. Gaming outlets are fighting for scraps, getting less than 5% of the total digital ad spend. They can't upset their advertisers or they go out of business. And when those advertisers, the ones keeping them in business, are the game publishers themselves whose games they're reviewing, that's a massive red flag. But this isn't new. Let's start at the beginning. In 2007, Jeff Gertzman reviewed Kane and Lynch at GameSpot, gave it a 6 out of 10. GameSpot was completely covered with Kane and Lynch advertising at that time. Eidos threatened to pull their massive ad contract, and surprise surprise, Gertzman was fired within days. It was later confirmed that he couldn't be trusted to play ball with advertisers. That's the prime example of how this joke of a system works. And fast forward to today, because it's still happening. Gaming journalists are saying their content is increasingly becoming slop because they've got to meet quota. Headlines that are deemed too spicy get killed. Stories too businessy get suppressed. Jason Schreier, whether you like him or not, calls investigative gaming stories a stupid business decision because publishers will just blacklist you for it. He's been blacklisted by Bethesda for 13 years for factual reporting. But here's where it gets properly mental. The financial pressure made these outlets vulnerable, so the corporate vultures swooped in as they always do. IGN bought Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, Games Industry, VG247, immediate layoffs happened, Polygon got sold to Valnet, a known content farm operator, layoffs happened, including their editor-in-chief, Game Informer, 33 years of gaming journalism, was shut down overnight, their entire archive destroyed. It's since been acquired and reopened, but still. Alice Bell from Rock Paper Shotgun said it herself that remaining writers would be crushed into boring SEO-focused content designed to appeal to the average reader. And when you aim at the mythical average gamer, you end up appealing to nobody. No shit, right? The Aftermath Collective, a team of veteran Kotaku writers who left, put it perfectly. The businessmen and private equity firms don't care about workers, readers, and quality writing. So when the same three companies own every single outlet, oversee every single article, that's not journalism, that's just a monopoly with press credentials. Same owners, same advertisers, same agenda, still think you're getting an unbiased opinion? No chance, mate. But it gets worse. They don't just pressure the coverage, they control who gets to review games in the first place and when we get to see it. Redfall being an amazing example here, launched on the 1st of May 2023 at 5 PM. The review embargo lifted at 8:01 PM, 3 hours after the game was already released. You could buy it, download it, play it, and hate it before anyone was allowed to tell you it was shit. It's the same pattern everywhere. Skull and Bones had a release day embargo for their 70 quid quadruple A masterpiece. Lord of the Rings Gollum sent codes late, embargo on release day. The correlation is just perfect. The late embargo always equals a broken game. And then Bethesda took it even further with Starfield. They just didn't send codes to outlets they didn't like. The Guardian, Eurogamer, Kotaku, Axios, Edge Magazine, all blacklisted. Only friendly outlets and influencers got early access. Keza McDonald from The Guardian put it perfectly: if the only people covering games at release are paid-off influencers and pre-selected reviewers, making an informed purchase becomes much harder. And then there's Metacritic. I spoke about it before, but it's important here. Publishers tie developer bonuses to review scores. Obsidian missed their Fallout New Vegas bonus because it scored 84 instead of 85. 1 point cost them millions, so now reviewers know that their 7 out of 10 might cost an entire team their bonus. So that's psychological pressure on top of everything else. But it's all part of the same process: control the flow of information, hide the broken games, sell more copies. Publishers have learned to game the entire system around launches. Get early positive coverage from hand-picked friendly outlets, likely those that you're spending millions on advertising with, and then give late embargoes for everyone else to minimize the damage, and financial pressure to keep the scores inflated. The review process isn't there to help inform our decisions, it's just another shady marketing tool. And let's be honest, most of us have totally given up on traditional reviews, and we head to YouTube and social media for honesty, but the problem is we can't always trust that either. A study from Imperial College London found that 96% of sponsored social media posts lack proper disclosure to say they're an ad or a paid post. 96%. Take the Axeman for example. He took at least $40,000, possibly even more, for a single Delta Force video earlier this year without proper disclosure. Credit to him, he owned up, he apologized, he donated to charity, he did the right thing. But think about that number, 40 grand for one video. That's more than some people's entire salary. How do you expect anyone to stay unbiased when there's that kind of money on the table? And this stuff is still happening. June 2025, Mind's Eye launched with a coordinated influencer campaign. Carnage had his sponsored stream cancelled via email while loading the game live on stream. Other streamers were literally laughing while reading the promotional script they were given. Kev Do It got so much backlash for his sponsored video that he had to change the title from Mind's Eye is way better than I thought to So I Tried Mind's Eye. He even changed the thumbnail from positive to negative because of the backlash. The whole campaign fell apart because the game was broken, but they'd already paid thousands for positive coverage. We only found out when we played the game ourselves. And man, gacha games are the worst. We all know this. Look at Genshin Impact. Their publisher Hoyoverse paid $20 million to settle FTC charges for targeting children with influencer marketing. They specifically recruited influencers to promote loot boxes to kids under 13. They paid a $20 million fine for that. That's the government proving systematic manipulation of children in video games using influencers. It's madness. And look, people need to make a living, I get it. Shit, if somebody offered me 40k for a video, I'd be tempted, of course I would, I'm human. But to me, the integrity matters, the honesty matters, the trust matters. When the money gets this big and the disclosure this poor, how do we know what's genuine and what's a paid advertisement? The answer is, we don't. So now you know why they're trying to bury Stop Killing Games. Publishers, investors and advertisers are way more valuable to gaming media than we'll ever be. We're not the customer, we're the product. Every embargo, every blacklist, every ignored story, every fired critic is part of a machine built to separate you from your money while keeping you in the dark. Gaming media isn't broken, it's just working exactly as it's designed. The money flows from publishers to outlets to influencers, and at every step the truth gets a little more expensive to tell. When an entire business's future relies on the money from advertisers, the same advertisers whose games you're reviewing, guess what happens to impartiality? It doesn't exist. The whole system is rotten, but at least now you know how rotten it is. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and thank you everyone for the kind wishes while I've been away for the last few days on family stuff. It means the world to me. Everything's all good here. Thank you again. As always, appreciate each and every one of you. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and share this video to help get the word out there, because after this I can almost guarantee no sponsor will be coming my way anytime soon. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.